The European Union has launched its mission to help Ukraine reform its civilian security sector: police, border authorities, intelligence services and justice system. From the capital Kiev, dozens of senior officials and officers from around Europe are working to build trust with their counterparts in Ukraine's interior ministry, the security sector and courts. This is not a training mission, nor is anyone armed. It's about providing strategic advice to Ukrainian officials on anything to do with the rule of law, except for defence matters. By March, more than 100 international and about 75 local staff are due to be working from the EU Advisory Mission's new headquarters, counselling and mentoring officials in Ukraine's civilian security sector. For the moment, the search for the right building goes on, just one of EUAM's many challenges. In the few months since a fact-finding team arrived, staff have been talking with their local counterparts and civic partners, listening, forging relationships, trying to understand how best to help Ukraine, even as conflict simmers in the east.
It's not an easy job. It's going to take a lot of time. How far we go in 2 years is nobody can at this moment tell.
Trust must be re-established between the police forces and the people. Public confidence was never particularly high, but the heavy police handling of the pro-European Maidan rallies a year ago made things worse. Corruption is the biggest challenge the EU mission faces. Low wages, a lack of checks and balances, and a vertical structure that leaves the policeman on the street unaware of Interior Ministry priorities provide room for corruption to flourish. Ukraine is setting up an anti-corruption bureau to help restore confidence. For it to work, EU officials say, policies must be clear and transparent, with easy public access to reliable information. It's a problem that cannot be fixed overnight.
Ukrainian society is vulnerable for corruption. There is no doubt about that. We all are aware about that fact. But I think that the biggest problem is that normal people, they don't trust the decision makers. And we need to find ways in order to convince the decision makers to make such decisions that normal people can find the trust to Ukrainian authority again.
While the effects of the conflict are not obvious in Kiev, the fighting does bring social tensions and internally displaced people. Still, the government remains willing to reform the security sector. Reform of agencies like the traffic police is being carried out under the association agreement that's the foundation of Ukraine's relations with the European Union. That means getting EUAM staff as close as possible to all the security wings, including the intelligence service, the riot police or the border guards. Ukraine has 7,000 kilometers of borders, about a third of that shared with Russia. The border police were the first hit by the conflict. They seem optimistic about cooperating with the European mission.
Ukrainian border guards are very committed to move on reforms toward European standards. And we really hope that this new mission will be of a great help to do that and to achieve this goal.
But this is just the start. EUAM is a long-term project. The mission has a 2-year mandate and a first-year budget of just over 13 million euros. Staff will conduct a strategic assessment in 12 months. For now, the focus is on building relationships and establishing trust between the EU mission and the Ukrainian security sector, but also on restoring citizens' confidence in their forces of order. Because people expect change, they want assurances that Ukraine's security forces have turned their backs on the old ways of the past.